Okay, so 216 all out Sri Lanka are, despite a spirited effort from the debutant Nuvanindu Fernando and the batting with the tail Dunit Vellalage tried to get Sri Lanka to a total about 230, 240, but at the same time that collapse of 6 for 50 towards the middle. 103 for 2, 177 for 8.
No.
Just did not help Sri Lanka onwards. 6 wickets for 74 runs, and
It's not good enough.
it wasn't good enough. And so Mohammad Siraj and Kuldeep Yadav were the stars. Kuldeep in particular 3 wickets for 51. Siraj also with 3 wickets, bowling with pace and hostility. But yet again, India struggled to blast the tail out.
Until Siraj came on. And he should really be one of your main bowlers now in ODIs. Undeniably so.
Yep. Because the rest of the bowling, Shami looked to be a bit off color. The fielding also was a bit of a problem. Umran Malik misfielded, Hardik Pandya, some good stops, some misfields. But Sri Lanka will be very, very disappointed with 215 because the lower order, which we thought, number 4 to number 8, they are actually the core of the batting. They just did not turn up. Shanaka's wicket, that was the key. Because that ensured that Sri Lanka would struggle to get to 200.
Yeah.
But luckily, Vellalage ensured that they have a total to which the bowlers can at least bowl to.
Yeah, they'll bowl to and then lose the match.
Yeah, at least you can fight that way. So it's not new for Vellalage this kind of a role, because if you had seen the Under-19 World Cup of 2022 in the West Indies on those slow, low decks, Vellalage was the one who used to accumulate and ensure that they would at least bat the full 50 overs. But at the same time, because he used to be effective with the ball also, Sri Lanka would get victories. They defeated Australia, Sri Lanka for the first time in the Under-19 World Cup that time. So, yes, the rest of the batting just was a sorry tale. And Sri Lanka, yet again.
Explain to me, why is it that Sri Lanka decided to bat first? Anybody have a clue?
They, I think, were blown away by the stat that the previous 6 ODIs, teams that batted first won. That was the only...
Anybody else?
No, that has to be the only reason, because the way they were batting in T20 mode. It didn't look like they wanted to bat 50 overs.
Yeah, although, see, Kuldeep deceived them with his guile. The wickets, only Vanindu Hasaranga can once again be criticized for playing a very, very bad
shot. Yeah.
Short and wide. Cut it straight to backward point.
No, it's not a bad shot.
He just picked the fielder.
Also, the pace of Umran Malik. You get any bat on the any amount of bat on the ball, and then again it was unlucky to just find Aksar over there. Aksar, by the way, taking 2 sharp catches, I would say.
Yep, absolutely.
So, any other explanation why they batted first? Anyone have any idea?
Bizarre, I would say, no?
Very, very bizarre.
So, I initially thought that, perhaps the one reason could be that they really wanted to test themselves. I know they're 1-0 down and all. Chasing, yes, of course, they knew they would back themselves to chase rather than put up a total. But maybe because of that stat and the fact that they wanted a little bit of a challenge also for themselves, for this young squad, maybe that one odd decision that they took.
I thought personally that maybe they wanted to bat 50 overs. Because, like how they got managed last time around, they did bat the 50, they got to 300 odd. They thought maybe if we bat first this time, we could actually set them a decent target. Kolkata's a good batting strip. But they didn't bat like that.
They're showing signs of inexperience here. With the ball as well the other day, they struggled with their lines, weren't bowling the right lines. Even today, the approach was not correct. When you want to play out 50 overs, you need a different temperament and a different approach. That's what we see lacking from the Sri Lankan side. And which is why India were not just the favourites, they were supposed to win it, and we all predicted like a 3-0 clean sweep. It looks like it's going to be that only by the end of it.
Where is the experience in the Sri Lankan batting lineup?
In the middle order, lower middle order.
Kusal Mendes, his experience counts for nothing, unfortunately, because yet again, he had to be that fulcrum around which the entire Sri Lankan batting would revolve around.
Him and even in Sanka for that matter.
Yeah, but Patum wasn't there today.
Right.
So Patum wasn't there, and remember, Sri Lanka, why did they win that Asia Cup towards the latter half? Because Mendes was contributing.
Correct.
At the top. But with Mendes not contributing in ODIs, they are really, really struggling. Look who you had to rely on. You had to rely on Nuvanindu Fernando.
Who's
and-
making his debut, man?
And Dunit Vellalage, who's barely 21. That is the problem of Sri Lanka. You bat first, you bat second. Doesn't matter with the Sri Lankan team anymore because they are struggling.
Today was another example of how reliant they are on their captain.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, look at the T20 series win that they had against Australia. It was Dasun Shanaka. Every single time Shanaka stepped up, they have won. But when he doesn't, the rest of the batting lineup just collapses like a pack of
I
cards.
think it's also, I don't know, a lot of people, and probably we'll now spend some time talking about India's bowling, and I think that some of the Indian bowlers were very good.
Yeah.
But I think it's also a poor reflection of how Sri Lanka have been batting. I mean, this was a pitch which is expected to be a good batting track. I'm not saying it because I predicted 300 plus for Sri Lanka, because it's a good batting track for a team that got 300 plus while chasing, batting first without pressure during the day. You know, it's not that the pitch was slow or it was seaming conditions, none of it. On a flat batting track, you expect a better performance from the Sri Lankan team. But this is what was spoken of before the series started. The Sri Lankan team in T20 cricket may still be able to compete, and they've been having a good run in T20 cricket. But the Sri Lankan team in ODI cricket is far behind the rest. And I don't know, I know India is going to be looking at a lot of bilateral series you have to play because it's reciprocal, but I don't know if it is the best kind of practice that India is looking for in a 50 over World Cup year. I don't think Sri Lanka is that particular team that gives you.
You're technically having only two series as ideal preparation for the World Cup. One is Australia in March and the Asia Cup. That's about it. You are not getting a full strength competition against New Zealand because 2-3 senior players aren't there. There's no Kane Williamson. And that's why this New Zealand team that arrives in India is going to be very, very weak. One. Number two, after the IPL, you're going to the West Indies. They themselves are not assured of automatic qualification.
And also post IPL, we'll be resting some players.
You will be resting some players. That's
No, I don't think now that resting is going to happen.
Or maybe
Unless
someone gets
injuries.
injured.
Or
Yeah.
nursing injuries.
maybe. Then after that, in August, September, you have the Asia Cup. That's it. Australia in March and also in October before the World Cup and the Asia Cup. These are the only two series where you're going to have good competition. If you want to test the Indian cricket team, that is about it. But remember, even in that test, they still have a certain issue of not able to blast the tail out. It's happened now for 4 consecutive ODIs now. 2 in Mirpur and 2 against Sri Lanka. They couldn't, from 179 for 7, 306 for 8. Here, 126 for 5 or 6 got them to 216.
That's what.
That's the problem. And so that is why.
Okay, so let's talk about India's bowling. 2 standout bowlers, Mohammad Siraj and Kuldeep Yadav. And even though a lot of people are surprised when the selection was made between Yuzi Chahal and Kuldeep Yadav, as to many thought that Yuzi would continue, and I guess he would have. There's no reason to drop him. Maybe that injury that happened to him because of the fall, so that gives Kuldeep a chance. But I mean, it's now becoming pretty clear that he is, as far as your spinners are concerned, and that's the problem you came in this one day. Everything was perfect the last ODI. If there was any question mark with the Indian team coming into this ODI, was that your spinners aren't taking too many wickets, and probably we saw some of that in the T20 series also. So, and then you get a Kuldeep Yadav and he changes things, he picks up wickets. We've seen him do it in Bangladesh as well, now doing it now. So the biggest positive for me right now is that first thing that I see is that Kuldeep has got his confidence back. And you can only say it after a few good performances and not just one here and there. I think now we've seen substantial amount of good performances by Kuldeep. So that's a great sign, considering we know that he was a wicket taker, then was dropped, then IPL, got hammered, then lost his confidence there. After which, when he came back, Rohit Sharma became the captain, said that, listen, I'm trying to bring that confidence back into Kuldeep. So if you were really working towards it, I don't know how much they've actually assisted from the outside in giving him confidence in terms of playing, because even now he gets dropped on occasion. So I don't know. But whatever way or whichever way it's happened, one thing that I can see from the game is that Kuldeep Yadav has got his confidence back. And now, yes, he was dropped earlier. I would be very surprised going forward. See, sometimes you get chances like this only. Like somebody is injured, you get a chance. But if the way he's performing, he has to be your first choice spinner right now. Two reasons. One, he's a certified wicket taker and you are having a problem of spinners not taking wicket. The other, we spoke about it earlier, that your number 8 batting, Shami cannot be your number 8. I think Kuldeep is a slightly better batsman at that. So bring Kuldeep Yadav, and he has to be now, even though I'm saying Yuzi hasn't done something drastically wrong, but I still think now if I was to pick a team and I had to pick one spinner between Yuzi and Kuldeep, I am going Kuldeep 9 times out of 10. Is anyone who's going with Yuzi, or all of you going with Kuldeep?
No, I the way Kuldeep was bowling today, you can confidence, and how you can tell the confidence is back. He's tossing the ball up. He's looking to get revs. He's not. He did get hit for a few shots. Didn't let it affect his confidence. Good thing was we're talking about the team. Kohli, I think at one point Wanindu was going after him. Kohli quickly came up to him and said, "No problem. Keep bowling it there. Keep bowling it there. You're bowling it in the right areas. Things will happen." And he himself was sticking to that. So I think his confidence is sky high.
I wish Kohli
Did that when he was actually captain.
Yes, played him a little bit more. He did not.
Ironically, one of the reasons his confidence went was because Kohli, of all people, smacked him all over the ground, hammer and tongs in the IPL.
So see, again, I'm not blaming Virat,
Yeah,
but
course.
what happens is sometimes, I'll give you an example. It's sometimes as a player, you are good against the spinner and then you are captain. So probably you think that, listen, I dominate him, and that is the reason you don't pick him. For example, Saurav Ganguly barely played left arm spinners because he was so good against left arm spinners, because being a lefty, tongue them out. So he always thought that, okay, maybe left arm spinners, aren't really the best bet to go with. So he didn't. I mean, the one sign that I got that Kuldeep has got his confidence back is I saw him use a few swear words here and there. So when you do it, you're back in the groove. You're being yourself. So, which is good, rather than being subdued or quiet,
correct.
even when you're getting hammered.
Yeah, but ideal world, I mean, looking at the team composition, what gave you success in India was the Kulcha duo. But I think now,
Which pacer are you dropping? Which pacer are
that's
you
the
dropping?
problem. The team composition is such now that it has to be either Kuldeep or Yajuvendra.
See, and you could have actually done that if Hardik Pandya was bowling you 10 overs every match, but is he going to do that?
No, he
Not a
just
chance.
bowled about 4 overs,
Five.
I think, in this
Five,
game.
five.
5 overs.
5 today, 6
So he's bowled 11 overs in 2 games.
Even if he was bowling more overs, I think it's
Yeah,
not
that time is
possible.
gone now.
You're not looking
It's
at
not
him bowling
possible.
his 10.
It's not possible to go with just
Two spinners.
2 fast bowlers and Hardik
Hardik.
Pandya.
That's
It's
right.
not going to happen even how many overs he's bowling, because one, you're not certain about Hardik. The other is, I mean, if your one fast bowler pulls up because of a groin, hamstring, whatever at the start of the match, you're gone. That match is gone. You can't take that chance. So you will definitely need that, which means you're only playing with 2 spinners, because now you don't have too many spinning all-rounders, and one has to be an all-rounder.
Correct.
Jadeja.
Considering you're having a problem. Yeah, or Akshar, Jadeja, whoever plays.
Even Washi.
So it has to be either Yuzi.
Or Kuldeep.
Kuldeep.
It's either or at this point.
That's the problem now.
Can't
So,
have both of
but on current form, if the World Cup was played tomorrow, Kuldeep
But
would certainly.
I don't know.
go.
I'm with you when you say that yes, Kuldeep looks
Yeah.
like the better bowler between two. I still have a feeling with this team management that they'll just go back to Yuzi for some reason.
It'll
I
be
don't know
not.
if it's about giving Yuzi justice or whatever it may be, but I just have a feeling somewhere inside that they aren't going to give Kuldeep that long run and they're going to go back to Kuldeep.
See, did he pick a 5-wicket haul today, Kuldeep?
No.
So he's safe.
Yeah.
Whenever he takes a 5-wicket haul, he's in
Poor guy
danger of
gets
being
dropped.
out.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. But yeah, Kuldeep on form.
So
should
you
be.
thought that he
Didn't take the
decided
remaining 2
consciously,
wickets.
with 3 ho gaya, now let me stop. Let me also not do it 4, because 4 can become 5 anytime.
Exactly.
So,
No, even Sri Lanka didn't make 250, 260.
Amazing.
Who knows? Rohit Sharma would have hit another 200 at the Eden Gardens.
It's just him at the strike then.
Just still, I know.
on the subject of bowlers, I think Eben Jose had a point. Yes.
Siraj
And he's
should
saying
be.
Siraj should be, and I think that's a valid point. And if you remember, before the ODI series started, when we were picking our Dream 11, Fantasy 11, I think Siraj was a must-have, and I
Yes.
think all of us agreed that at the moment he is your first choice fast bowler. What he brings is now, in a short span, he's one of the more experienced guys that you have. Secondly, he is bowling with a lot of fire. Like, he really runs in hard, he's
Looks to get
bowling
that
quick,
bounce.
And I don't know, somehow I feel that he's more dangerous against left-handers. So he's been doing really well. Bowls with that angle sometime and gets left-handers out quite often. So all in all, he's emerging to be your number one bowler, at least, if not T20 eyes, at least in ODI cricket for sure.
I think he's doing his bit with the ball as well. He's getting some sort of movement off the deck as well.
Which he always got.
So he's trying out new things. I just saw the replays as well. There was a seam up delivery followed by a cross seam. Then he did a bit of wrist movement as well. Trying to get something off the deck, and that got him a wicket as well.
Avishka Fernando. The ball that came back in. Because
So,
he's been working on that in swinger quite a lot. You remember in that Bangladesh series he had said, I don't know, suddenly I was focusing on the outswinger, but I'd forgotten how to bowl the in-swinger.
Yeah.
Got Litton's wicket, I remember. He bowled
Yes.
him with again, getting
In-swinger.
movement off the deck. So he is your wicket-taking bowler with the new ball, in fact. So
In ODI cricket, yes, 100%.
actually, him with Bumrah looks like an ideal combination to start
Where is
with.
Bumrah?
But that's the thing. But again, we're going to be saying that in another couple of months' time, maybe not, because Bumrah will be there, hopefully. And from the World Cup.
Are you sure he's going to be
But you want him, right? You don't
there?
want
He's
this-
not available for New Zealand. He's
in
not
danger of
available for
Border
Border Gavaskar also. I think he's not available for majority of
Majority of it is not available.
So we don't know.
And
But you want Bumrah in your lineup,
But at least
right?
we'll have the
And
IPL, so you'll get to see him.
yes.
And then you'll be able to judge whether he is fit enough.
Fit
to
enough.
be,
Yeah.
back or not.
Because now look, he's going to play, he may not play the West Indies series, he will directly play the Asia Cup. You may want to rest him for that West Indies series. After a grueling 16 match or a 17 match IPL.
What if it's 14 match again?
Yeah, 14 matches, that too.
back to back.
Yeah, Mumbai Indians.
What's grueling about that? 4 overs you have to bowl.
Exactly. It's not that grueling.
But for 2 years.
No, but then for Mumbai Indians, it'll be the battle of the back injuries, no? Jofra Archer will also be back. He's bowling now in the SA20.
Yes. I think he got.
So he's bowling for the MI team only.
Yeah.
MI Pal, if I'm not
MI
wrong.
Cape Town.
MI Cape Town. Yeah, Pal is Pal Royals.
Pal Royals.
Mini
Johannesburg
IPL.
Super Kings.
Mini IPL.
Johannesburg Super Kings.
Yeah, so he was bowling for the MI team, MI Cape Town, and he did well. His first.
I think he got Butler's wicket, I guess.
Yeah, I think it was Butler's. Oh, his teammate. Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Three wickets he got, no?
Opposition, no?
No, teammate, international
England
teammate, no? The
England
English.
teammate. Yep. So
His captain, in fact.
that's the problem. So now Bumrah might essentially play about Asia Cup. He'll be there. Hopefully West Indies. Hopefully.
And,
Or as somebody pointed out that what if he plays the IPL, gets injured again? That's negative thinking.
that's very, very.
Come on.
He will play through the pain.
Sridhar Savarkar.
So what? No. You can't. We'll not.
Or-
Rohit Roy is also saying.
Yeah.
I think people really believe the thing that all our cricketers get fit for the IPL. Only.
But you can't
that's
blame.
unfair.
You can't blame, but people for saying.
Exactly,
It has
I don't-
happened with a few players.
I mean, look, if you look at pace bowling, it's a very unforgiving craft. It's an unnatural craft if you have to look at it.
Yeah, but why does all the injuries happen during IPL only?
Before IPL, you mean?
Yeah,
That's why he's not
before
getting
the
selected.
IPL or after the IPL.
Yeah, I know. See, for example, the likes of Pat Cummins, James Pattinson, they all struggled with injuries for 6-7 years.
Yeah, Cummins, it took him a long
6
time to
years.
get out of that groove. He made his test debut, then didn't play a test after that for 6 years.
6 years. Played in the, and that too, handed back his second test match in a very, very flat deck in Ranchi. But look how he turned up for that. And now he's Australia's captain.
Now he's
the best bowler.
Arguably the best test bowler in the world right now.
Yep. So it does take time because unfortunately, even Shoaib Akhtar pointed out, no, his action is side on. Just was frontal. More stress on shoulder.
This is not side on, front on.
Front on. So
Yeah.
shoulder and back will always
Plus,
be a
with
problem.
him, the other thing is that half of his pace gets generated from his shoulder.
Exactly.
Because his run up is that much.
Yeah. It's just about 4 or 5 paces and then he gets
and
that
then
pace through the back and the
Obviously,
shoulder.
there's always going to be that stress on the back and shoulder.
Will he change his action? I don't think so.
Doubt. If the action change had to happen, it would have happened in grade level cricket,
Exactly.
not now.
Not now. So, yeah, that's the thing about Jasprit Bumrah. Hope he stays fit now after the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Our only hope is that.
Ankar Biswas is saying Kuldeep should get the nod ahead of Chahal based on recent performances.
Fair.
Manikant is saying that Siraj hardly had injuries.
He hardly plays international cricket also. He was not that
Yeah.
regular, truth be told.
And
Although
now
I think
he's
he should,
becoming a
but I think
regular.
he should be a test and ODI certified starter.
Yes.
This man has to be.
Yep.
GGK wants to know if India win this, will India try and give a chance to Sky, Ishan next match or go with selected 11? If you ask me, I would want just go with your 11. Yeah.
But knowing
Stop
the Indian
these
team,
chances and all this.
what if
thing.
Ishan Kishan goes and gets another 200? In a
Yeah.
chance, bus.
Third match against.
All these things, please stop.
But knowing India, I think I suspect if they win this match,
They are making.
then they're 100% going to make a
Then
couple of
some
changes.
change. But I hope it's not for Kuldeep.
Yeah, but again, look, Kuldeep Yadav also has not gotten the fair end of the deal most often in Indian cricket.
You know, what fair end? That's the thing. He's not. He got dropped from the test team after taking a fifer, yeah. Come on.
And when he was at his peak, he got separated from Yajvendra Chahal as the bowling
From
duo
Cha.
in the 2019 World Cup, and he's never been the same since. So that's the thing. Sridhar Savaikar saying what Rohit needs to see is field placement of Umran. The edges just fly cause of space, so you need good fielders at right play. You can't stop some of his boundaries with correct.
Can stop.
You can stop.
Some of the boundaries that he concedes is, they go very fine. Again, you can't really have you're taking a huge chance by placing a fielder there and not, let's say, covering deep backward point of those areas because. Again, if you ideally want to bowl, get him caught inside the ring over there, get the batsman caught over there, but the edges are so fine, and given the pace that which he bowls, there will be those runs that he'll concede. That's the thing with express pace. We saw Sean Tate concede so many of these runs. He was also somebody who didn't really have a great deal of control over his.
But I think more than Tate, I think Umran's got far better control. Looking at his.
Yeah, but Tate was quick.
Yeah, then the
Quicker.
wild thing was he
160.
used to be bowl 150s for fun.
Yeah.
So
Different bowler.
Yeah.
I think the most important question out of all that has come from Aman Gupta, who says that, you know what, you guys can go home early today.
Really?
Which I think he's right.
he's right. I mean, if India bat through,
Unless the batsmen don't want us.
No,
to
he's also predicted India will chase the total down in
27 overs.
27?
Yeah.
Wow.
So from going forward now, I'd like to see India again. We were talking about India really imposing themselves in a match and whatnot. This is the kind of target, and given the conditions, India should be winning this by, let's say, a margin of 7 to 8 wickets. That should be your win margin.
I would look for 10.
I think it would be.
Ideally 10, but then you're looking at.
10 is pushing it, Shane.
Why not?
Nothing special from Sri Lanka. Is it?
That's the title you gave.
No, that's what Rahul had said.
Rahul had said.
Yeah, that's the title you gave your video after that.
Oh, हाँ.
Thumb.
Oh yeah.
I remember, yes.
Whatever.
Yeah. Thumb.
Title thumb.
Yes. We became equilibrious in our own way. Yeah. Kuldeep, number one spinner.
Read
No.
the question properly.
I am not number one spinner. I am. Okay.
Because see who sent it.
Ravi Chandran Ashwin is saying that Kuldeep is not the number one spinner. I am on your chat. You
Fake
get that now?
Chandran Ashwin.
No.
Is it fake?
Yes.
course.
It is fake.
I didn't know that. I thought it was him.
Someone spent a massive
But the
amount
picture is his, no?
But ASW.
Nice headshot and all.
Oh.
Someone sent a massive amount of super chat money to tell us that.
Oh.
Yeah, that day.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is why. Okay. Soumya Das Gupta. India should grow. Rohit Roy is saying India should groom someone like Raj Hangargekar or Raj Bawa as Hardik's backup. We need fast bowling all-rounder. Batsman who can bowl fast.
Bawa, I think, is someone who they should be looking at, but again, very young right now.
Very. Yeah.
Same with Rajvardhan Hangargekar also. And unfortunately, he's with CSK. His 3-4 years are ruined.
Now, what even
He's
as
not
a
going
young
to get that
player?
much of chances.
What even as a young player? Not he's, Jagadish.
Jagadisan.
Jagadisan, yeah.
Jagadisan.
I still remember he's hoping that CSK don't get him. He's like, no.
Yeah, I mean,
He's happy at the end of the day.
I'm happy for Jagadisan. He didn't make it to the CSK franchise because his confidence also took a hit. Now, remember when he was hitting those 4-5 centuries in the Vijay Hazare, he said, I had lost my confidence sitting on the bench with CSK. So, why should anybody be on the bench for 3-4 years not getting much of game time? And then suddenly, okay, what am I going to do in international or domestic cricket? That's the thing. CSK always do that. Remember the Aparjit brothers?
And remember, what was it? Dhoni who said, no fire in the belly.
Yeah.
Oh, he said that I had a lot of youngsters, but they did not show anything that, got me thinking that I should be drafted into the 11. And I think that question was asked after Ruturaj Gaikwad did very well in that half. And he said the reason why he didn't play him earlier is because, there was nothing that he showed either in the nets or anything that got them excited in the world, and that's fine. I think it was very candid of Dhoni to accept
Yeah.
it and say just the way it is, that sometimes we go by a lot of perception also and not really potential, but what you see around. And I think Gaikwad was this quiet, to himself sort of a guy, and not really like look supremely confident or anything. So you feel, this guy, will he be able to take on bowling attack? Should I bring him? So he said that. No spark, he said. That's
No
correct.
spark.
That's the
Correct.
correct
Yeah,
word.
yeah.
He says you didn't see any spark. So that can happen. But I'm saying whatever the strategy of CSK, when they take players, end of the day, they're one of the most successful teams in the
4 times.
IPL. So
4 times, yeah.
whatever they do it right. And I don't know, whatever little I saw of Hungarekar, I don't know what the future holds for him, but I think his bowling is not the kind that is going to really be troubling international level batsmen.
Yes.
He could still be a handy bat going forward, but can he be that bowler that can really trouble top level batsmen? Maybe not. And I think these are things that sometimes we're not privy to it. A lot of these teams do match simulations and all of that, where they get to see the potential of a player. And if someone doesn't go through, it's not really reflective of the franchise being biased, but it's maybe more to do with the kind of potential that player has. Not to say the franchise is always right, as in the case of MS Dhoni, got it wrong, but more often than not, they gauge the player there.
Yep.
Rohit's question I wanted to answer: who is going to keep wickets once Pant is not there? I think there was a question on Border Gavaskar Trophy.
Yeah,
that Pant is not there, then who?
Also,
So I think the Bharat, I think, is going to come in, and
Yeah,
he
but
was
test
batting.
has to be Bharat.
He's in Delhi right now playing the game. Andhra is playing, and I think he was 80 not out yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Or he got out at 80, but he got 80 odd. Maybe again sending a sign that he is that guy, because you also had him in the squad. So
True, he's
he
been
is
the
going to be
understudy.
the guy that you go forward in Test cricket. You're not going to have a makeshift wicketkeeper for sure in Test cricket. You're going to go for an out-and-out keeper, and I don't think Ishan Kishan, Sanju Samson, KL Rahul, whoever these guys you're looking at white ball cricket, will be playing Test cricket. So KS Bharat could be that guy. Yeah.
Kanwar Shrikar Bharat.
Yes.
Yes. You see Sarfraz in the Border Gavaskar Trophy.
Yeah, because I think some people see Sarfaraz as a wicket keeper, but I doubt.
No.
But I think they should keep him in the squad, because again they don't really have anyone.
Does he keep? I don't know.
From what he does keep. I can double check that. I did say the same thing about Iswaran also, and that turned out wrong. So
Did you not see him keep the wickets for RCB at one point?
I
Couple of
can't
games here and
recollect.
there.
I really can't
I for
recollect.
some reason recall that.
I can't
I'm
recollect.
not wrong.
Bharat and Chandresh Narayan saying Narayanan. Bharat and Upendra Yadav will be in the squad for BGT. Yes,
He's predicting.
he's predicted. Yeah,
Thank you.
Bharat, yes. Upendra Yadav.
Okay.
Yep.
See you.
So,
Any prediction? Anyone thinking Sri Lanka is winning?
Yeah,
Anyone?
Let's predict the victory margin. I think that's let's be more realistic here.
if Sri Lanka
You're
had
hoping
made
for an upset.
No.
if Sri Lanka
Why
had
should
made
I be?
240,
I'm going to
250,
support the.
if they made 240, 250, I would have said Sri Lanka have a fair chance. But 215,
The victory margin बताओ.
You would have gone for fair chance.
Yeah,
Fair chance.
fair chance. Fair chance. Now, who is winning in that, I don't know. But here, India is clearly winning by 8 wickets.
Clearly by 8. Mark the words. Clearly by
8 wickets. 8 wicket win.
I'm going 7 wicket win.
stick my neck out and say 10 wickets.
Oh,
Yeah, nothing special from Sri Lanka.
we're only missing the number 9 here, so I'll say 9.
7, 8, 9,
Virat Kohli
10.
not out.
Yeah, it's his territory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
See
so
you. Bye bye.
in the mid-inning.
Vanakkam.